I would like to share with you 10 useful apps for airline pilots. Let's have a look at them.
The first app is the airports. It's just that, a worldwide database of airports. It's offering some useful basic information for initial flight preparation. Rather than going into Jeppesen charts to look for available approaches, you can very quickly find out which approaches are available at the particular airport. Green arrows indicate whether there is a Cat 1, 2 or 3 ILS approach available. I can compare this with the weather forecast and make a decision on my alternates. You can also display METARs, TUFs and NOTAMs. In the NOTAM section you can decode this NOTAM. Having all the information at one place on my phone or iPad definitely saves some time during my initial flight preparation. You can also add remarks to your airports and create lists. I use the lists to mark down all of my company's destinations and alternates. This creates a map with pins, which gives me a good overview of my diversion options and route. The next one up is the AeroWeather. It's not as comprehensive as the Airports app, but still it's my main app for checking METARs and TUFs. You can group airports together for a quick weather check at your home base and its alternate airports. The software also automatically assigns VFR, IFR and low IFR tags so that you can at a glance form a good picture of the current weather. There's one feature I find especially useful, and that is decoding of wing components from METARs and TUFs and displaying them on a runway diagram. FTL Calc. This is an app I use for long days at work to double check our flight time limitations. I usually do my calculations first on paper using the company ops manuals and then use the FTL Calc just to make sure that my calculations are correct. LogTen Pro. This is my electronic logbook. To be honest, I hardly ever use the iPad version, and for some reason the iCloud sync doesn't work properly, but I love to use this app on my phone. Gone are the days where I had to sit 3 to 4 hours filling missing flights in my paper logbook. I use it together with the roster importers like RosterBuster and myRoster, which export the flight details into the LogTen. The only thing usually left to fill in are the off-block and on-block times. The rest is filled out automatically. If you need to, you can create various summaries and reports for your CAA and airline. I use flight radar when commuting to see where the inbound aircraft is and whether it's time to go to the gate. We also often use it for the same reason in the briefing room during the check-in. In the premium version of this app, you can create custom filters and alerts. Many airlines use this app for their own flight tracking. EasyJet, for example, incorporates the flight data of your booked flight into the EasyJet app. I think that this is a clever use of flight radar data. Boeing Onboard Performance Tool. It is a go-to performance calculation software for many airlines. Unlike the previous apps, this one is not up to the individual pilots to choose, as each airline uses one performance calculation software for its whole fleet. Boeing OPT is used for mass and balance, takeoff dispatch, landing dispatch, and landing en route performance calculations. While this app still has a large room for improvement, it is so much better and quicker than any paper load sheet or performance charts. Navtex, TODC and mass and balance applications are a very good alternative to the Boeing's OPT, but unfortunately they are not available for the iOS. If you'd like to know more about performance, you can check out our performance series of articles in the 737 Handbook app. I'll leave the link for the app below. This brings us to my next app, Jeppesen Electronic Charts. I have to say that I'm a bit biased here, as I'm so used to the Jeppesen charts. I've been using the paper version during my early days in aviation and continued using the electronic version as an airline pilot. Having said that, this app has come a very long way. Instead of just displaying charts in PDF, it has been developed with the pilot's need in mind, and a lot of useful features have been included. You can highlight, make remarks, group the charts together, display your position on Moving Map, which is by far one of my most favorite features in this app. Moving Map itself is very nicely done, where instead of browsing between different airport charts to display more or less detail of the areas you taxi through, you just zoom in or out. Something so basic yet so powerful, which the other chart providers don't offer. Believe it or not, we used to have a bag full of paper charts from the airports to the low and high level en route charts for the whole Europe. Imagine that you had to divert to an airport you didn't have a chart ready for. This would mean unsealing the Jeppesen bricks full of hundreds of airports, not just the one you needed. Now you can just tap on the map, display the current weather information and go directly to the airport chart, something which was unthinkable 10 years ago. While the previous apps can all display airport METARs and TAUs, sometimes you need to place the station weather into context. MeteoEarth can do just that. It displays current and forecast weather for the whole world in a nice format. You can toggle wind, cloud coverage, precipitation, temperature and pressure. If you have the premium version of the app, you can display wind at different altitudes and weather forecasts for the next 4 days. No other app makes you enjoy watching the weather forecast more than the MeteoEarth. Many pilots have to commute to work. SkyScanner makes searching for the flight connections and flight bookings a breeze. There are other apps like Kayak and Kiwi, but I find the SkyScanner experience the best. Having said that, I would like to be able to also buy the flights directly on SkyScanner. This is not yet possible, and you need to finish the booking on an external booking site. EWAS stands for Weather Awareness Solution. While the graphics of this app aren't as great, it is a powerful briefing app. The app can download flight plans from Eurocontrol and display relevant weather and no-time information based on your flight plan. I personally don't use it so often as I find the user interface cluttered, but I know that many of my colleagues, especially in long haul, use it for their initial flight preparation. In my career, I've been using both myRoster and RosterBuster. Both apps offer pretty much the same. I can't show you any of my flights now because they are on a lockdown and there are no flights planned for me. But their strength is in automating roster imports into your calendar and exporting the roster into electronic logbooks like LogTen and MCC, and it also works very well with the FTL Calc.
So these were the apps I use. Let me know which ones are your favorite in the comment section below. I hope that you enjoyed the video and see you in the next one.